This article also comes from Go Nintendo. Nintendo considered having 100 redesigns of Link before settling on his appearance in Breath of the Wild. Wanted to go with a neutral approach. Nintendo ditched a bunch of traditions and norms from the Legend of Zelda series when they created The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. One of the most challenging changes came from Link's redesign. While you can get Link's classic tunic and hat in Breath of the Wild, the character starts out looking quite different. In the Zelda Breath of the Wild art book, various devs on the project explained their new approach to Link. Also, as a side note, the very first Breath of the Wild trailer, though he's wearing almost the same outfit, the champion's tunic doesn't have the Master Sword design. It actually just has like some swirls and stuff. So even between that and the final game, it had changed as well, just as a side note. That's not part of this article. So Aonuma says, Link is the game's protagonist, so I've always thought we need him to look cool. Yet, if we overdo it, the people playing the game might feel like they're controlling an already accomplished hero, which I felt could get in the way of players immersing themselves in the game. For that reason, this time I decided we should make Link a more neutral character in a variety of ways. We thought that the iconic green tunic and hat had to become expected, so we wanted to mix things up and update his look. Interestingly, though nobody on the team said, let's make him blue, it just organically ended up that way. Satoru Takizawa says, producer Aonuma-san declared that we would be revising expectations by updating Link for this game. He wanted Link to be a more neutral character that players could see themselves as. You can feel how energized and excited the artists were about this idea from the really interesting modern concepts they drew. They were close to 100 designs presented within the team for Link, and the number of sketches were too great to count. And Yoshiyuka Oyami said, I'm really hoping I'm getting these names right. Aonuma's the only one I'm confident with. The Link of this game was to be a traveler from the frontier who exudes a sense of adventure, which is why there are a lot of designs that feature capes and bags. At the beginning of development, we drew a lot of landscape shots. Link wearing blue clothes appeared pretty early on because the blue stood out against the backgrounds we were producing. Did you notice that the champion's tunic that appears on page 60, which we don't have an image of, has a different pattern on the chest than the one from the start of development? Since the tunic is unique to Link, it ultimately ended up being a symbolic representation of the Master Sword. The story behind the champion's tunic is touched upon in the second DLC, The Champion's Ballad.
That's exactly what you were just talking about.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry for knowing things.
Also, in the GDC artwork that they showed off, we talked about GDC earlier. Yeah, the developers at GDC showed off a bunch of stuff. They even showed off like what Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker all looked like using the Breath of the Wild engine, which we ended up getting Wind Waker, but the remake of Twilight Princess didn't use the image, sadly. But during that same conference, they showed off a bunch of artwork of Link. One where he's like wearing a hoodie with a guitar and everything, and it just looks really weird.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there were some really bizarre things where he looked like the stereotypical cool kid from a 90s movie. From like a high school or something.
He kind of looked like a mix between Zelda, or well, Link, and Shaggy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
also,
like,
tried to
alright.
Tried to click through the source for the article to see if I could find the artwork. It just takes me to a Nintendo Everything article with the same interview. Thanks, GoNintendo.com. I always said you were a good website.
Yeah. So
and you betrayed me like this.
This also makes me like kind of scoff, I guess is the word, whenever, I don't know. Maybe that's too strong of a word. When people are like, oh, well, Link in Breath of the Wild has sideburns, so he's in the Downfall timeline. Because only games, like only Links in this timeline have that hairstyle.
Wind Waker Link has sideburns, and so does Twilight Link. They just all friggin' do.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, the way he looks has nothing to do with which game that he's in. That, like right here, they say that they went with 100 different designs before they settled on one.
Yeah.
And the whole point was not to have it tied to a previous game, was to make him designed to look different from previous games. So trying to base his timeline placement on his design is illogical.
Yeah.
So there.
But there are weird people out there that they're a fan of an
Jesse,
idea, and they would just want to go with
Snapchat
it.
said a thing though.
I know.
About his hat.
Yeah.
So therefore it's truth. His uncle works at Nintendo, don't you know? My uncle's cousins, doctors, dogs, veterinarians, cousins,
Our
farmers.
Our podcast partner works at Nintendo.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
I will say that it's really amazing, like how they did end up making Link so very different looking in Breath of the Wild. Yet, even if I had never played Breath of the Wild, I would look at that and be like, "Huh, yeah, I guess that's Link." It's like it's recognizable for Zelda fans. It's like that's a reincarnation of Link for sure.
yeah.
But it's also like, wow, so different, so new, so fresh. Love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like the blue outfit, the whole champion's tunic thing. I think that really matched.
I was so iffy about that at first, and now I have my own champion's tunic, and it's like, well.
Nice.
Yeah, because to me it made it seem like whenever I first seen it, I was like, okay, well, in like Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword and Wind Waker, Link always started out with a different look, and then like after an hour or two, or in Wind Waker's case, almost immediately you would get the tunic. Twilight Princess took a little bit longer. You had to save the Light Guardian, and Skyward Sword, you had to get the Goddess Sword. So those took like an hour or two to make your way there. But in Breath of the Wild, I thought it was going to be the same thing. Like, oh, well, we know that you start out on the Great Plateau, so maybe like once you are able to make your way off the Great Plateau, then maybe they give you the tunic. Or maybe I even have a video a long time ago that's like, yeah, you get all of these different spirit orbs. This is like months before we knew anything about the game. But I said like there's over 100 different shrines in the game. From what they told us, they have all of these spirit orbs. You collect these spirit orbs. Why? And then I guess because Twilight Princess HD had just came out, and they were like, you have the spirit of the hero. And then the guy gives you the tunic that belonged to the Ordona, I believe it was. Maybe it was Pharaon. Gives you the tunic of the past hero.
Ordona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was thinking of, okay, well, this light spirit says Link in Twilight Princess has the spirit of the past hero, so then gives him the tunic of the past hero. So in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, what if after you collect all of these spirit orbs and you prove yourself to be the hero, then, just as with Twilight Princess, he gives you the tunic of the hero, which is almost exactly what happens. So that was a cool thing that I got right. I just didn't know that you would end up getting heart pieces and stamina and stuff from it. I just thought after you collected them all and proved yourself to be the hero, then you would get the tunic. And you do.
Yes.
But you also get like 10 other tunics in the game, so...
Yeah.
Yes, especially if you have an Amiibo.
Yeah, Ocarina, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. And it's like some of them are just a slightly different shade of green.
Yeah. But I know nothing about that or anything Amiibo related.
Yeah, you hate Amiibos.
Can't stand them. Never use them, never buy them.
Don't have duplicates or anything like that.
This is my favorite Amiibo.
It's funny because it looks.
It's
one
it's
of the
literally
Amiibos
the
is
same design.
exactly that, but
Yeah.
They should
this
have
is
put
so much
an
nicer.
Amiibo thing like down here.
Oh.
That way you could just.
It would
Yeah.
like cover your whole controller. Gamepad.
Yeah, and I don't know
what
which
you're
way
using.
to put it. Like, because like if you put it straight, it's meant to be like this, but then like a lot of the details covered. So I want to turn it sideways. But then it's
Yeah.
like, which sideway? Because you can see the shield and stuff this way, and this way you can't. So it's like, how do you set it?
You
diagonal.
put it in the middle of the room so that you can go
Yeah.
all the way around.
Put it
Put
on
it
like
on
a rotating
rotating.
platform. Yeah.
All right.
So you just
Well, there you go. That's way too big.
Or, I guess since we have this here, we would do it. Wait, which one? It's the right one? Yeah?
Yes.
So.
Well, no, on the Pro Controller, it's on the middle of where the Switch logo is.
Okay.
Oh, right. I don't have a Pro Controller.
Yeah.
So
I have 2. So that compensates, right? I got the Splatoon one.
I have a Breath of
that's
the
awesome.
Wild USB controller, and that makes me very happy.
all right, I think
Very pretty.
everyone's happy with Link's new design.
Yeah, it's all good
Yes.
in the hood. I really, really like it.
As long as they don't make him bald because he looked like Bobby Hill in that photo. Did you guys see it?
Yes. Someone hacked the game and just removed Link's hair, and he looks like Bobby.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has
Bobby.
like no features to where like you look at him and you're like, I don't know. He just looks plain, right?
He looks neutral, as Aonuma would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Aonuma did say they purposefully wanted him to look more feminine so that girls could relate.
I feel like
Mhm.
first of all, I find that funny because I remember when I first played Twilight Princess, being like I look back on when I first played Twilight Princess, and I'm like, he doesn't need to look effeminate. I was very happy with Link from Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Most
With
girls
his
were.
Link and his big lips.
I
I
personally
was
What's
just
the
thinking
night?
about him in his sumo wrestling outfit.
so I really like the Twilight Princess Link look. I like Skyward Sword
Yeah.
Link as well. But one of my favorite designs is the Smash Bros. Wii U Link design. Because it's like it was a mix. It was like slightly different though. Like
It's
if you look at the artwork of that Link, maybe it's just because the artwork itself is a little bit more detailed, but they have the artwork where it's like a close up of Link's face, and it looks really good.
It's just basically it's a sort of an amalgamation between Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword Link. Is how I interpreted it, because he's got all the design details of Twilight Princess, but he's got that sort of lighter green tone, on his tunic,
Yeah.
like Skyward Sword.
And then
So
maybe
it's,
it's like the lighting in the game is different as well. So
Yeah, but I really like that design as well. He looks real good.
the
in
lighting in a
Smash for
game
Wii U.
changes a lot.
Yes.
If you guys have ever
Especially
that
Twilight Princess's lighting is very like unique to
Yeah.
the series. So.
well, I was gonna say like in Breath of the Wild, there's the parts in the game where you can go and like glitch out of the world or whatever. So like the lighting engine isn't hitting you, and it makes Link look like a wax figure. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
yes.
I've heard of it, or I think I've seen
There's a-
actually video footage
On
of
the
it.
bridge of Hylia.
Yeah,
I've tested it out. And it works. There's like a hole in the wall, and you can climb in it. And there's like a seam, almost where the lighting engine like ends.
yeah. Lexi and I, we made a video on it a long time ago talking about it, and then I went there in the game to do it, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's been fixed in an update either. Maybe Nintendo's just like, hey, this is how good we are with our lighting systems. Like, this is what the character model looks like normally, but we're so good, we make it look 10 times better with just the lighting.
hmm
I don't know. So
That's true.
So if they made the next Zelda game, and it's like another game on its own, it's not a sequel to Breath of the Wild or anything, what Link model would you like to see it look the most like? Because I would go with probably Skyward Sword Link. Maybe not the baggy pants, but yeah.
I just want it totally new.
A completely new version of Link again.
I'm on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Don't make him look too much like an old one. Recognize like what I said about Breath of the Wild Link. Recognizable as a Link protagonist, but
Mhm.
unique to the game.
nice.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we can go on to the next thing, right?
Yeah. What's left?
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
How it was hated.
Yeah.
Why do people hate this game?
This actually
I
came
actually
from.
briefly mentioned this in a video I have coming up.
Appreciate art.
For the people wanting to know why the bananas keep getting mentioned in the chat, it's because it's kind of a running gag ever since the LA podcast. Yeah. The Game Over Takeover LA.
Can't
And
wait
it
for
became even
volume
more
2.
so of one once I was asked to say it in German.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm awful.
So if you see someone referencing bananas in the chat, those are the hardcore fans of the podcast.
Die Banane.
Die banana.
Cliff even made a custom emote for Discord. That was the Mario Kart banana.
Die Banane.
Banana.
That's hilarious.
It's great. It's great.
Which is funny, when I spell it correctly, everyone's like, why are you saying die banana?
Die banana.
Or they'll be like, you said die banana, but you spelled banana wrong.
Yeah.
It says banane. And
So
I'm like,
a long time ago, there was a
Banane.
well with die in German, not meaning death or whatever.
Sure.
At least for die banana, it's not meaning death to the banana, right?
it just means the.
Yeah, okay.
It's the feminine form of the.
Yeah. So, when I was younger, I dated a girl. I think maybe it was before high school. It could have been high school, but her name was
Banana.
her name was Dayoung.
Dayoung?
Die young?
She was Korean.
Like, I don't want to live to be old. I'm going to die young.
That's how it sounded when
I'm
you said her
assuming
name.
there's supposed to be an accent there. Dayoung.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that was her name. I think it was spelled like Day Young, but it was pronounced Dayoung.
My professor had a student that he had to convince to have an American version of her name. He was like, I'm all for cultural name, but I don't think you understand how much you're going to be teased for your, I think it was Japanese name, because it'll be obvious when I say it. It's pronounced Shitin Kao.
No!
And she's like, no, I like my name. We need, and my professor's like, no, I understand. That is your Japanese, I think it was Japanese name, but I would encourage you to have another name. And all the other students are trying to explain to her like what that means and what it sounds like in English. And they explained to her after class. And she came back the next class. She was like, I am Sharon. We're going with Sharon.
Sharon it is.
So they're
Sharon
like,
is
okay,
caring.
cool.
Oh, no.
It's like she just kept saying, no, I am Shitin Kao. And my professor's like, no, trust me.
Oh, no.
That's always odd. Like whenever, like even with English names, whenever like if someone's named like Thomas or Kevin or Kyle or Jesse or Daniel or Ilya, it's like there are the meanings behind it. Like if you look back far enough, or like a lot of people get names from the Bible and stuff after like certain saints. But it's like, what if you just don't want a meaning? Like what if you just like, oh, I like the name, so I'm just gonna do that. I don't care what the meaning is. Like,
Oops.
you know, my name, I wasn't named because of anything. I was just named because they liked the name Jesse.
That's pretty much how I named my kid, too.
It's like, oh.
Well, I really like it. It sounds smart.
You're,
You're gone, Ilya.
muted.
Ilya's miming. Ilya, come back to us.
Yeah. You could,
Is it there now?
you could get the role
Oh,
of
there you
Mime in the new Pokemon movie.
What?
You could get the
Mr.
role
Mime.
of Mr. Mime. Okay, so here's the thing. Mr. Mime. Pokemon have to say their name. That's how you know who they are, or what they are. If Mr. Mime can't talk, how do they know to call him Mr. Mime?
They don't know. They just
don't.
call him Mr.
They
Mime.
That's just what they call him because he can't tell us what his name really
Well, what
is.
if it's a female?
Because
There's no Mrs.
maybe,
Mime.
Maybe it's pillow talk, you know, because Mr. Mime and your mother are an item.
Wait, what were we talking about? Wind
Have you
Waker
seen this thing? There's a
names.
Pokedex entry where it mentions that sometimes young children get jealous of Mr. Mime after Mr. Mime marries their mothers.
There is some
There
heckin'
is
disturbing
Hold on.
entries in the Pokedex.
Hold on.
this
Pokedex?
is a real thing in the
Pokedex.
Pokedex. Mr. Mime likes the MILFs. Okay? He's hide your mother at home while you go out
Hide your
Pokemon
kids,
hunting.
hide your wife.
Don't let Mr.
Also,
don't
this
take
is
Mr.
this is
Mime
my
home to your
background.
parents. I like it.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you guys have as
I'll-
the backgrounds?
Here, I'll show you. Mine is also Breath of the Wild artwork.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah, I like
Mine
it.
is a picture of a church that my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather built.
Nice. I was gonna look
Wow.
up that Mr. Mime thing.
Good job.
but I can't. I don't want to
I know,
take the
he's-
time.
He built a lot of things in the neighborhood. Oh, but my other background is the ocean.
Nice.
Oh,
I took that picture.
Yeah. So we can start the Wind Waker thing now, right?
See.
What's
Yes.
the chat saying? Well, then we know
they
Ash is
say now
fine.
we know who Ash's father is.
No, Mr. Mime didn't come into the picture until Ash was gone.
Yeah, no, Mr. Mime comes in after they're a single mother. When they're
Maybe
already
all
a
the
mom.
moms just send their kids off so they can bring in Mr. Mime.
Now I hope. Oh, go off. Go get some Pokemon. Please bring back Mr. Mime. Get me a Mr. Mime. Okay, and then so I read that Pokedex thing, right? And then I later was like online and I saw a screenshot of like from the anime where Ash is riding in the car and it's like Ash and then Ash's mom and then Mr. Mime sitting beside Ash's mom with like his hand on her lap, like one hand on her leg, and I'm just like, yo, Ash's mom is a freak.
All right. Anyways, hello everyone, and
Hey everyone, it's me again, Elia Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.